Hello, everyone. A káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò wa. That is my mother tongue, which means welcome to our program, BLAXODUS. Yesterday we had initial introduction to the channel, and we did spoke about what we're gonna be talking about in this channel and what this channel is for. And pardon me because in the course of this broadcast, I'm gonna be speaking my mother tongue, which is Yoruba, because as Yoruba people say, "Odò tó bá gbàgbé orísun ẹ̀, ó máa gbẹ," which means the river that forgets its source will dry up. So I'll always try to interpret anything I say in my mother tongue. So yeah, let's go. So today's topic, which is the episode one, will be the unfiltered reality of living in the UK. And as my people say, you can't any tioba mono ni billion or way, which means the person that knows the route is the one that we ask, like, sorry, how do I get to A or how do I get to B? So I don't know all, and nobody knows all, as Socrates said, that he will think he knows all, knows nothing. However, we do say experience is the best teacher, and it's 5 years. 5 years ago that I came to this country, and I'm technically 5 years old in this country in the UK. So, and I've seen a lot. When I say a lot, through my own perspective, and also through hundreds of other people that I've met in the black community and at work, in the society, and even in our religious places. So let's crack on. Now, when we talk about the reality of life in the UK, what most of us knew when we were growing up in Africa. I don't know where you're watching me from Ghana, from Togo, from Congo, from Nigeria. So I can mostly speak of my country, Nigeria, where I'm from. So what most of us thought we knew was life in the West is like more or less like living in heaven. It's paradise. Everything you want is here. Everything you can ever be, everything you need is here. However, what we should understand is 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, there are some stuffs you can do and get away with in the West, in the Western world. And there were stuffs that were readily available even for their citizens that are no longer available now. And there's what we call inflation, and it's not only happening in Africa. Even though the Western media, they are always readily available to showcase how bad Africa is, how crazy Africa is, how poor we are, how like corrupt we are, how nepotic we are. However, this is not everything Africa actually has to offer. There are some parts of Africa and parts of my country, Nigeria, that are more beautiful than the most beautiful place I've seen in the UK. And I've not only been living in the UK. I've been to Switzerland, and we all know what we hear about Switzerland. Like, oh, Switzerland is also like paradise. In short, Western Europe is paradise. That's what we've been told, and that's what we thought we knew whilst we were growing up. So this is what is leading to mass exodus of people, regardless of what they've achieved back home in Nigeria. They always feel like something is missing. Something is missing until they japa, until toba travel out. That's what we say in Nigeria: travel out, travel out, travel out. And when we are talking about travel out, it's not because people are just traveling out. You to decide to like, oh, more, I must travel out, I must travel out, I must travel out. What is over there? What are you going to meet? Why are you living? Those are the questions you should ask yourself. Why are you living in Nigeria? What have you achieved? What have you not achieved? What do you want for yourself? A lot of people say, oh, I have to travel out because of my children, to give them better life, to give them better future. But wait a minute, most of us were born in Nigeria, and nothing like is technically wrong with our future. What we understand, and I'll continue to say this, we know how Nigeria is. We know. We know our issues, we know our stress, we know the wahala, as we call it in Yoruba language. You know, in Kotan Dojuko Amo, we know it. However, you need to think outside the box. Like, okay, if you are running from Nigeria to the United Kingdom, now, for example, for better life for your children, what do you actually mean better life? Does that mean that people that study back home in Nigeria have less knowledge or less wisdom of whatever they study in the field against their counterparts here? Or what do you mean better life? Spending time with your family against spending time with your family here? Because this is one thing people don't understand. When you are living in the UK, you won't have time. You won't have time. Time, as one of our classic music said in from Nigeria, time na money, time na money. Time is actually the most valuable resources in life. So when you feel like, okay, I need to leave Nigeria for the better life for my children, it's a whole different ballgame entirely. Better life for your children. Fine. We know about ASU strike. I was I was a student at the University of Lagos. I know about ASU strike. I also know that majority of Nigeria's problem could be highly mitigated with funds, with money, with good finance. So, like, you have issues with ASU strike in government-run universities. Well, send your kids to private school. However, not everyone can afford private school. I'm just highlighting the fact that there are ways to mitigate the Nigerian factors. Now, we don't have electricity, like 24 hours electricity in Nigeria. But you can have a solar which can power your whole house 24 hours. However, it's expensive. It's not everyone that can afford it, which we understand. You also have the fact that there's no water, like from the government. It's almost non-existent. You can have borehole in your home. So there are a lot of ways to mitigate the so-called Nigerian factors, because if you look at, if in the spiritual realm they say "Ti which means if you can see the route you want to take coming to the UK, then you weigh the advantage and the disadvantages. Sometimes it might not be all Japa is a must. So that is just the backdrop of the whole discussion. Let's look at let's itemize what I call the kokonoro of actually living in the UK. Bear in mind, when you live in the UK, it's different from when you come for holidays or when you come for visiting anyway. So we're gonna talk about everything in total, as we say back home. Then the first thing I would like to talk about is, okay, now you've decided you want to come to the UK. What is the type of visa that you need? I am not an advisor, an immigration advisor. I'm not. However, I am in the system, so I have experience which I can use to talk about this type of visas. Now, we've seen people selling everything they've got back home and coming to the United Kingdom or to the United States or Australia on a visiting visa. On visiting visa. What does that mean? When you are here on visiting visa, you are more or less like shooting yourself in the foot. You are more or less like committing financial suicide, because visiting visa is in the name. You are here to visit. You are not here to live. You are here to visit. And when you overstay your visa, you will have to leave off the grid. What do I mean off the grid? You can't work because you are here on a visiting visa. You can't open a bank account. There's a lot of things you can do. You can't even have your own accommodation. A lot of people in our community, they use pseudonyms, they utilize other people's documents, which is highly frowned upon by the United Kingdom laws and immigration rules and regulations, which is not advisable at all in any perspective, because we have our brothers and sisters locked up in the system, living in the shadows of the system, on other people's names, using other people's documents to work. And when you are caught, you that gave out your identity for someone to use it to work, you might lose your citizenship, even though you are a citizen already. You might lose your citizenship. It's written in the law. You need to know the law. You need to know the rules and regulations of where you are coming and where you are living, because ignorance, as we all know, is not an excuse. Kò sí pé ẹjọ́ ẹgbà mi ò mọ̀ mo ràn lọ́wọ́ ní ẹbí ni wá kíní kan sorry I didn't know that I can't give someone my identity to work it's because they are my family and friends. The law doesn't care about that. Here there's like ìka tó bá ṣẹ̀ ló bá ń gé, which means if you do anything against the rules of the land, you will dance to the tune. You will suffer for it, and they will really make you pay and make an example of you. So, and you also have our sisters locked up in the system. They've overstayed their visiting visa, their welcome. In the past, maybe 20, 30, 15 years ago, some people, we've heard stories that visiting visa ni mo gbà wọlé, mo dẹ̀ ra wọ system tèmi, kí ló kàn mí, yàrá ya àwọn kíní kan mo já wọ system, mo dẹ̀ gbà stay, mo ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀. That one doesn't happen anymore. Then some people, they use other people's passports to even travel. Now we have biometrics, we have eye scan, we have palm print, everything. It's no longer possible. You will just be useless in the system. I've seen these people day in, day out, and it really gets on my nerves, because they feel like it's their right to so far they can make it to the UK, they can just vanish into the system. It doesn't work like that. A lot of them are now slaves. Technically, they are now slaves in the system. What did when they are walking on the streets, they'll be looking at over their shoulder. Is that police after me? Is that immigration after me? That is not life. Now, when we look at the type of visas that you need to come here legally, we look at visiting visa, we look at study visa, and student visa also, it has its own disadvantages. A lot of people we know, I've met a lot of students, international students, and you do know that there are what we call home students and international students. Home students, we pay like £9,250 per annum, and international students, they pay from 15,000 and above. Convert that into your local currency, and okay, you'll be like, okay, you know what? Some of them have actually come here to do masters after masters, just to find a way to stay. And the bitter truth about that is, when you come here to do masters, the time you spend doing your masters does not count towards you getting a permanent stay in the country. A lot of people get this wrong. I've met tons of them at work. They've been like, if I had known, won't suffer me. Nobody will tell you. Nobody will suffer, because the traveling agents you have back home in Africa, in Nigeria, they just want to collect your money, pack up your documents, and off you go to the UK, collect their money, off to the next victim. I'm not saying if you want to come here to study, it's bad. This system of education is good here. Obviously, there's no strike. However, why are you coming here to study? Is it just for the Japa, or is it you just really want to study, and after you study you are going back home? In the past, you could get like an extra stay, I don't know what they call it, like 2 years or something, to study, try and get work and everything. Like now, they've changed the law literally, I think last month now. you can check, and this is full of discussion anyway. You can comment down the comment section, and let's talk about this, because it's really hurting me seeing people wasting away, people selling their assets, letting go of what they've worked hard for their life, just because they think is the grass is greener on the other side, which is not always true. Now, we also we need to look at inflation and high cost of living. High cost of living in this country is bonkers. What I mean by bonkers, like, it's crazy. It's a slang we use here, bonkers. It's crazy. The we all know the inflation rate in Nigeria, like, ọmọ naira ti lọlẹ̀, naira ti lose value, kini kan, gari ti wọ́n lọ já, all the stuff. But it is happening here also. When I came here, we used to spend like 50, 60 quid, 60 pounds on electricity or so in 3 weeks, almost a month. But now we spend almost 50 to 60 pounds. 2, 3, 4 days, it's gone. Gas is crazy. So all these expenses that people don't know that this is what they are coming to meet. Now I'm talking about the visitors visas and the student visas now. Other type of visas discussions are still coming, because this is the most that we are seeing in our community, and people languishing and biting their tongue, that how they wish they know that this is the reality on ground. Now, when we talk about inflation, the purchasing power of pounds is also getting very weak. We know what is happening in Russia and Ukraine war. The sanctions, the counter sanctions, it's affecting us here. Diesel has gone through the roof. Fuel is extremely expensive. Electricity is crazily expensive. Gas is expensive. Now, when you put all this into consideration, daily living, then you look at someone selling their house, selling their factory, selling their cars just to Japa to come here, either on visitors visa and the most popular one, the student visa. Then you look down the road at what is the plan? What is the plan to move from having a student visa to a permanent type of visa where you can have access to maybe healthcare, to childcare, to everything, like, technically in the country? That route, it's not advisable at all. Only if you have your genuine reason of coming to, like, want to study, want to get your master's or PhD in so-called Cambridge or so-called University of Manchester or what have you. Everything is just packaging. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm here. I've seen people that have gone to uni here. Fine. We know Nigeria's system of education is not the best in the world. Like, with what our governments have been doing with all the strike, ASU strike, and bullying and everything. However, it's not perfect here too. I've met people that went to school here, and we've had conversations, like, on political issues, on educational issues, and I can see that they are not actually up to our standard, because in Nigeria we dey chop theory go. I mean, get theory, we sabi theory very well, but practical we still lack in the practical aspect. However, that doesn't mean the whole educational system in Nigeria is zero. It's not possible. I studied in Nigeria, and I'm proud of my country. I'm proud of where I'm from, even though we are going through our challenges. There's no country that's not going through their challenges. That's what people need to understand. This place is not paradise. It's not paradise. People, they suffer here, but one they suffer around because in Koto Junri, Yoruba said, in Koto Junri, Makun Koju de Lewi. Makun Shagamu Koju de Lewi, and our Makun is in UK. Waiting people they go through no be beans. People are really going through a lot. So that is from the part of inflation. And I also want to talk about media representation. It highly matters, because most of the movies we were exposed to, these so-called American movies and English movies, they always show the best part in this country. They will show, if like, imagine you are watching a Marvel cinema or an average Hollywood movie, they want to show London. They will show the London Bridge, the London Eye, the Buckingham Palace, the beautiful places. Nobody go show Ramsbottom, nobody go show Bury, nobody go show Bolton, nobody go show Cheltenham, nobody will show all those places, because that's not what they want you to see. They want you to see that UK, US is heaven. Come, come, come. Jettison everything you have back home. Come over here. They want to show America. They will show Manhattan. They will show the Manhattan Bridge. They will show skyscrapers. Like, oh, everybody's happy. You go show. They will show everybody driving brand new cars. Now, scam. People, 95% of people in this country don't own their vehicles outright. That's what people don't understand. We call something car loan. Okay, if I want to buy Range Rover 2023 model today, I can just go down to Range Rover depot, put down my name. They will do what we call credit check. Credit check is they will check your credibility in the credit world. Like she ko jegbese, she ko ni CCJ. CCJ is what we call criminal court justice or maintenance. Anyway, CCJ is what they put like a county criminal county court judgment on your name. Maybe you jegbese ri, abi o sanwole or something, so that you won't be able to have access to credit. She understand? So I don't need to have £40,000 to buy or £80,000 to buy a Range Rover Sport 2013, 2023 model. I will just put my name down and I'll be paying Sunday a year. And I'm telling you, that is not life. We're going to talk about it because you see a lot of our people, they come there, I'm a big boy, I'm from UK. I bought my first car, I bought my first house, they put it online, but like, oh, then nobody begging to come. No, they bought it, that doesn't mean they own it. It's like someone that got a mortgage on some rent from landlord or a mortgage. You never buy a house. You just change your landlord from a private landlord to the bank. Now, let's say the money, the amount of the house is £100,000. Then you collect mortgage. You pay interest on that mortgage. Then you spread it for like 30 years or 25 or 35 years. Now, first and foremost, what is the assurance that we will live that long? Kò sẹ́ni tó mọ ìgbà bí àkókò. Èmi tí mo sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nìí, mo lè lọ at any time. Nobody knows. Gbogbo afẹ́dàgbà afẹ́dàrúgbó, we want to be old, we want to enjoy the fruit of our labor. But now, that is how the Western system works. Nothing anyone owns here, mostly, is owned outright. Now, my phone, I'm using a Samsung S22 Ultra or S23 Ultra, I don't even know. But when I'm using the phone, my Nigerian friends like, I'm a big boy, but boy, or my phone don't low. And me come money phone, no, mo badi, son dear. So, ayalo make me fine. That's what we say in Nigeria. Ayalo make me fine because what you son lori at the end of the month, my income and my outgoing, I will have little to nothing saved as my savings. But okay, think or one day if I don't have strength to work, one day if I fall ill or I get injured at work, what will I fall back on? And when that happens, then you see people overnight losing their homes because they can't keep up with the mortgage payment. Oh, they do some mortgage for 20 years. Oh, bank that is even for people that are here legally, that are here not through the visiting route or through the student visa package. That are here, maybe like family or what have you, arrange or normal one. Now them sabi. That is for people that are here 100%. So when you look at it, that okay, you are making so much money, but at the same time, so much money is going out again. Then you look back at people you left back home in Nigeria. Ninu fi, ninu ola, ninu wahala, ninu gbogbo. People they build house for Naija. People they do business. Some people are thriving. It's not a must. You must travel out to make it in life. I never had a plan to leave my country for any way. It was just I found love. I found my wife, and because I love her so much, she said I have to come here. And if I don't come here, I wouldn't know exactly what I'm talking about now. I wouldn't have the experience, which is the best teacher. I've seen it all. Even though I'm 5 years old in this country, I've already imagined my life in the next 35 years. It's just not possible. This system is not designed for you to be wealthy. Excuse me. It's not designed for you to be rich. It's not designed for you to go ni anito ati anisheku. Wow, you just be trying to survive. You'll be trying to survive. The so-called children you came here for, to have a better life for them, you won't have time for them. We have what we call knife violence. You can Google it, knife violence in the UK. A lot of people, a lot of children are killed through knife and gang violence in the UK. They know they talk about them for BBC World Service, but we know what is happening here. Because if they keep showing all this negativity, you know how much UK embassy they make per day on people where they apply for visa. And application for visa, I don't even mean say you go get the visa. And they made it so hard that once one of us not get the visa, be like, oh, Japa. You don't know that most of the time you are going from fry pan to fire because of what you have to do to actually make the transition. They've made it so expensive. It's like jumping into a lake without actually knowing the depth of the lake, or whether they are crocodiles or reptiles, or whether the lake is like an hot lake or something. That is exactly what has been happening, and it hurts my heart. And some people might say that my boy she born UK, sort of bad. She wanna travel. My own Japa is not like other people's Japa. My own Japa, I came here because my wife wanted me here. My wife brought me here. I didn't have to sell my parents' land, my parents' house. I didn't have to sell anything. So it's different entirely. And the age I came here, I believe, I can't remember, maybe I was 27 or so. Imagine someone coming to the UK at the age of 45, 50, 55, selling everything they've worked hard for, to now come here and be sweeping floor, and be working at Amazon, and be doing support work. Support work is what we call like an healthcare assistant job. O lè máa ṣiṣẹ́ níbi àwọn gbàsínwín àbí àwọn tí wọ́n ti ní ABI, which is acquired brain injury, total accident tí wọ́n lè dágbé mọ́. So irú àwọn iṣẹ́ yẹn ló máa ṣe even when if you come here like as a student or what have you. Now imagine 45, 40, even 35-year-olds that have achieved back home, letting go everything they've worked hard for, with the hope that okay, Tima Talemeji, the UK within 3 years, is a lie. Oh, they ran one plot of land. But they say in Kota Sonny B, ni agbára. The expenses here is crazy. People don't understand what is happening. All we know is where we are coming from. Why not ask people that have been living here? Why not be ẹ dúró báwo ní UK ṣe rí gọ̀gọ̀ náà, ṣàtọ̀ sí gbogbo Instagram picture tá à ń rí, ṣàtọ̀ sí gbogbo Instagram post tá à ń rí, kíníkan you will see all these new guys tó ṣẹ̀ dé láti Nigeria, they will say ọmọ Nigeria, the worst you've done for me is over, kíníkan, I'm now in the UK, I'm in heaven, I'm looking forward, kíníkan. Ìgbàgbé ṣe wọ́n, and aláìmọ̀kan. Because when you truly understand the system, once you see how we've been locked up in the matrix, you can't unsee it anymore. Reason being that I personally, what made me start having this change of heart was I look at people around me that have been here for ages, that have been working hard, that have been doing what they need to do to survive for themselves and their families. Then I imagine, like, do I want to live like this? I will live, go to work, 12 hours shift, 12 hours. Látàárọ̀ dalẹ́, o máa ti kúrò nílé be 5 a.m. O máa délé like 11 p.m. That is not life. A lot of us have high blood pressure. A lot of us have like hypertension because we don't have rest. Iṣẹ́. Owó, pounds. But tó bá ṣiṣẹ́ ìtàn, an average salary in this country is £2,000. Iṣẹ́ owó okay pa. Some people are making more than that though. Some people are making less than that. But an average salary is £2,000. Now, o máa san worry, wa san tax. Tax, we call national insurance, NI also. Kotomo, £2,000, it will be £1,600. Listen, ẹni tó bá gbọ́, someone that hears that, ọmọ, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi àbábúrò mi ó ń gba £2,000 per month, ó máa sáré gbé calculator, £2,000 times hello ni ọ̀ṣẹ́ náírà nísìn 920 naira, I equal. It doesn't work like that, because £2,000 equals to 1 point something million tẹ́ ń ṣe Naija because you are spending pounds here. Nísìn tó bá san tó bá san tax and NI tán ó ní àwọn bills tó gbọ́dọ̀ san. The people that designed this country wọ́n gbọ́n wọ́n ti ṣe pé kó tó lè mú £100 jáde nílùú yìí wà á ti ṣe kó tó jẹ ààrẹ àti gbẹ̀gbà ààrẹ àti gbàyà tí ẹ bá níyàn nílùú ìbò pé ẹ̀gbọ́n send if tó bá send ẹ lówó if they don't send you money má rò bóyá wọ́n ATL because they are just struggling to survive and wọ́n ní láwùn they won't open up to you that this is how it is wọ́n ní láwùn tán. So what I'm saying in essence is let's do some quick math. On pa £2,000 àbí £2,000 lóṣù o san tax and NI o kù let's say 17. Okay, average rent níbí is £1,000 average pé o gbé ilé tó kọ̀ wá okay £1,000 o kù £700 ẹ ti bí tí mo bọ̀rọ̀ lọ. Now I'm a council tax o rent ilé o gba mortgage o as a council tax let's say average £100 o kù £600. Now electricity lóṣù averagely £300 owó ẹ̀kú £300. Gas táwa ń san onílé tàwa £400 ní lóṣù kò dín wọn kọ́bọ̀. Nísìn ẹ ti rí pé mo ti jẹ gbèsè £100 already owó mi ti wà ní minus £100 and here bank account wa bó ṣe ń bọ̀ pé yàtọ̀ sí ti Naija owó tó bá ní ò lè gbà ibi owó bank account ó lè lọ sí minus tó bá ní overdraft ó lè lọ minus nísìn mo ti wà minus 100. Gas electric rent nìkan mo ṣe san mi ò tí ì san àwọn owó mímọ́ kàwá máa ti sọ owó mi owó home insurance owó oúnjẹ owó phone contract which is like £50 or £200 pé ẹni tó bá gba phone tó bá ń san díẹ̀ because o need phone àti connectivity internet àti pé láti pèèyàn TV license ní UK tó bá ní television ilé ẹ̀ ó ní tax tó máa san tax ó máa san wọn ó lè escape ẹ̀ òun náà pé TV license ó gbọ́dọ̀ san you must pay it. TV license, you must pay it. So all these and many more are ways that have been designed that you must not have too much. This UK is a leveling, it levels everybody. It doesn't care who you are, what you've been. That is the fact. It will level you. Mi ò tí sọ̀rọ̀ tán TV subscription, wàsán, child care cost, pabambari really because child care cost, it's extremely wo. Gbàgbé pé ní family ní UK tó ní pé ẹ̀ tó wá dé àmọ́ ọ̀rì máa bẹ́ẹ̀ tọ́jú ọmọ ẹ̀ máa ṣe ìwọlé ṣiṣẹ́ everything. They won't tell you the truth. Childcare cost, it is almost the same as your house rent or mortgage rent, your mortgage pay. Nísìn fún ọmọ tèmi èmi san almost £950. Èmi àti ìyàwó mi £950 per month là ń san fún childcare cost. Ìwọ tó ń gba £2,000 lóṣù ó ti jẹ gbèsè £1,500 already. So you can see that back to back we see our people young middle age and old and at work working just to survive just to breathe just to have a little bit left over. Nínú ẹ̀ náà àwọn èèyàn máa tún pé ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ send owó ẹ ti travel láti join ẹ rántí mi ṣé báyìí ṣe rí you've traveled all this while you don't remember me. It's not like that. It's not that they hate you or they don't want to pick your call. It's because they are going through hell. And people don't understand this. Don't sell everything you have back home because of what you are seeing on TV and what you are hearing some people that don't really understand how this country works. What you are hearing them talk about. If you want advice on the US, I won't be asking someone that just came here 6 months or 3 weeks ago. I will ask people that have been here 5, 10, 15, 20 years like, okay, báwo ni ìlú ìṣèlú gangan náà? Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan náà? How does it work? How can I make it? Mind you, there are some people that are thriving. Like àwọn tó wà nínú we call them business analyst or software testing or IT. Just say IT. However, those ones that are thriving are like 0.5% of the whole black population. Why? Because not everyone is wired. Not everyone is wired to have those kind of technical know-how and technical ability, even though they studied or whatever. Not everyone is wired like that. And most of them want parents in the CV. Also, once you do training, you've done this job for 5 years, for 10 years, they will lie. But atubotonko, which means that some people have been cut out. Wọ́n parọ́ pé àwọn ti ṣe IT for the past 5 years ní UK nísìn tó bá ń ṣe maybe auditing ní ibi iṣẹ́ wọn á rí pé excuse me Mr. Man, you said you've been doing this job for the past 5 years in the UK but you came 2 years ago. How does it work? Do you know that you can be jailed? You can be prosecuted for actually lying on your CV. Some people don't know, but that one is another story for the day. This episode is mostly just talking about the reality of life here and how people should do their utmost research before eloping to the so-called better side of the planet. Now, when you put all this into considerations, people that come here, the most hurt people will be the people that come here on visiting visa, then onto the student visa, because to actually afford that movement, a lot of people that actually come here are not the people that are suffering back home in Nigeria. Could possibly be several millions of naira. They are either low middle class or high middle class, because if I will only afford the ticket, or application, owó gbàǹdùkú, owó ilé, owó school, owó oúnjẹ, owó gbogbo ẹ̀, transportation, gbogbo ẹ̀. And some people, they will come for student visa. And ilé gangan ni ibi tí mo mọ̀rọ̀ lọ. Wọ́n máa ta gbogbo nǹkan tán ní Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n á tà ní ṣípé. Like they will sell it for cheap price just because they want to move. They've been given that visa date. They are so happy. Their house, boom, they sell. Their cars, boom, they sell. Their business, boom, they sell. UK. Wife, oh yeah, let's go. 3 children, 2 children, 4 children, let's go. Then they get here. Then when reality kicks in, they realize that more. So money like some child care. So come on to better school. Money like child care. £900 lóṣù. Now they have to decide ṣé ọkọ máa dúró sílé ni àbí ìyàwó máa dúró sílé kó máa mójútó ọmọ kíkọ lọ máa ṣiṣẹ́, and the pressure will get to the other one because it is not easy working 12 hours a day, and it's not actually working 12 hours a day because you have to go like 1 hour 30 minutes before, and you have to come 1 hour 30 minutes 2 hours after. This is what people have, and a lot of homes have been broken. A lot of marriages have been demolished and destroyed because people don't actually do their research before coming. It is not easy to survive. Some people do, but majority of us, it is not easy. When you put everything into consideration, fine, pounds is more valuable than naira. In Nigeria, not here. Pounds is pounds here. If you pounds or pounds in a day. So, when you put all this into consideration, you realize that does it really make sense for me to leave what I've worked hard for? Now, we should understand there are 2 types of people that travel. If you are young, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 25, like there's nothing you've achieved back home, anything, business, because of maybe nepotism or corruption in our system, your family, you are not inheriting any business that you can manage, you are not innovative to create something for yourself, and you just languishing in Nigeria, and you feel like, I need to travel. That is different. Look at this another set of people. I've seen directors of federal government coming here to sweep floors in the hospitals, to pack shit in the hospitals, to be racially abused and insulted at work in this country. I've seen bank managers selling their houses, selling their cars to come here. I just like, what were you thinking? Now, most of them are either just trying to survive. They were thriving back home. Some of them have gardeners, some of them have drivers, some of them have omodo, which is house help. But here, nobody care what you had, what you have, or how much you've got, because in the real sense of it, you don't really have much anymore. You are making money. You are staking your time. You are giving your time to your workplace, but you are actually, that money is being taken from the other hand by the government, by everything you need to do, which you can't escape in this country. So people, you need to understand. Now, I've talked about from psychological perspective, some social perspective, and financial perspective. That is only for housing. Housing package nìkan nìyẹn. Tí máa ń sọ pé tó bá sọ wá ní mọ́tò nǹkan once you have a car. Some people, our big boys, I think on Sunday, they can be paying like 300 to 600 pounds per month on their vehicles. But some, I want to buy that Sunday, one motor kekere, or manage, they be managing their small car. However, you'll be spending on car insurance. Your car insurance can be from £200 upward, £150 upward, because you just came to this country. You probably have to, you must have your driver's license. You have to pay premium on your car insurance because you are a new driver. They don't care where you've been driving. If you've been driving for 40 years ago, they don't care. You are like a newborn baby in the UK. You have, obviously, you have to run your car. You buy fuel, which is extremely expensive now. My car, I spend almost £400, £450 per month on my diesel. And it don't buy 1.5 lóṣù. Owó epo ẹ̀ lásán £400, £450. Kí ló fẹ́ fi kún? Now, maintenance of the car, owó níbí, is very expensive. Think about ṣe mọ́tò ẹ̀, you pay through your nose. Níbí, owó bí nǹkan mi. À ń pè nǹkan ní MOT. MOT yẹn ni nǹkan ó máa san per year. You do checks in your car. You do MOT test in your car. Maybe there's any fault. You must do that one yearly. Nigeria, nobody cares. So far, your car is running and that's fault, you sort it and life goes on. Here, I've been fined. My wife has been fined £80 before because she forgot to pay extra £2 for a parking fee. On fine, £80. Now, that is a lot of money. A lot of money. Just because you forgot to pay £2, £3, £80. We also call what we have bus lane charges. So once you drive into a bus lane, by mistake, our bus lane in Nigeria is like they use concrete to demarcate, even though some people will still drive into it. I stop on Naija. But it be line some places, the line you wouldn't know. Then once you enter it, you don't want to know how much you're gonna pay. Sometimes you pay £70, sometimes £150, sometimes if you take time before you pay and you decide not to pay, it will go onto your record. And once anything goes into your record, you are done for in this country. Now, when we put all this into considerations, I'm not here saying that you must not travel. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here saying that you must not Japa. I'm not here saying that, hey, don't find better life for yourself in any country we are, because we are humans. We are naturally engineered to wander, to move about for a better pasture for us. But you need to understand perfectly, Ibitimon law, is it better for me? What I have already, ṣé ó wà okay for me? Ṣé mo lè fi kún? Ṣé with hard work, hard labor, soft work, soft labor, use your brain, be innovative, can I thrive in Nigeria? Can I thrive in Togo? Can I thrive in Namibia? Can I thrive in Kenya? This UK is not what people think it is. And we must understand that. However, you can still travel. Because Yoruba sọ pé ìròyìn kò tá fojúbà. And the same Yoruba that said that news, how can I interpret that? Like, knowing something just by watching it on the news is not like actually experiencing it yourself. The same Yoruba that said that also says that in our proverbs, says that Ogun awitele kin parọ́, which means to before one is to before arm. And there's this way again that ajá tó bá máa sọnù kò ní gbọ́ fèrè ọlọ́dẹ, which means that the dog that's going to disappear or to go missing will not hear the whistle of the hunter. It will just keep on going. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm just here to give my own reality, what I've seen through other people's lenses, other people's eyes, what I've heard through this my ear that's happening to people in our community, of people letting go of wonderful things, of like, let's say, poultry business, of fishing business, of bungalows, of duplex, of cars, of assets, with the mind that if they come to UK, they will make this a multiple. Bro, now scam. Now big scam. Sister, now scam. If you want to come here, by fire, by force. Maybe you don't have anything back home. That is understandable. Maybe you've tried all you could and nothing is working for you. Not because you have a house and you feel like, can't they lost UK, my multiply house is like 5. You start thinking of it like bed Naija over 2.5. Malo, wow. If you like, come. If you like, don't come. And if you want to come, do your own research. Check, use the internet. Don't just go with what the traveling agency is telling you, like, UK buy anything. UK need the healthcare workers. All those ones, we'll still talk about it very well in other sections, because this country, has been engineered to make a fool of us. Because if they need drivers, they will say, oh, there's now special visa for drivers. Make £25,000 per month. And people back home, they just carry calculator. Hey, £25,000 times 920 equals to millionaire. Ironian. Some people hardly have, like, they spend 10, 20 years in this country. They hardly have 5,000, 10,000 pounds in savings. In Where do you want to see it? Because you are just trying to keep up with the bills every month. And also, don't get me wrong, some people find it easy, which is like less than 1% of the black community. It's not a lot of people. I've met a lot of people that have been here in different circles. And I personally, when I realized that I was in the matrix, I realized that I need to be innovative. I've created a lot of stuff in my life since I've been here, because I realized that I need to escape this trap, because it's a mental entrapment. It's a big mental entrapment. I've written novels, I've written textbooks, I've created cryptocurrency. I'm not yet telling anybody about getting into what I've created. Just to know that your innovation is actually what will make you thrive in life. It's not technically working as a salary, because Yoruba Yoruba said that Ishe lomo alasije, owo lomo alasela. Ishe lomo alasije means that if you want to just eat and survive, work for salary. If you want to thrive, just not survive. If you want to thrive, you want to enjoy your life, start something. Start a business. Be innovative. Think outside the box. You must not japa before you can make it. There are thousands and hundreds of thousands of Nigerian youths back home, African youths, doing wonderful things. Is it the creator of Flutter Waves? Is it the creator of SenseStack? Is it the creator of different IT innovations? There are farmers back home making millions of naira monthly. You come here, you sell everything you have just to be struggling and trying to like, hey, Bama is on SBs. You are checking your bank account. The more you work, the more the tax. The more you make, the more the government takes. The more, hey, mom ma was school. Kino ma she, hey, kogo, ma lost childcare. Hey, that back way. Family here, hey, send the work. If we did Naija together, we did. Nobody go send here. I go here send the Shebeti one. You cannot join killing shit. Kino koko ingono. And the craziest thing is this same family that will be calling you for money, this right, left, and center. They will be the ones to point fingers at your nose that Sheboti one UK lati 15 years ago. Kilo beshe, what have you achieved? Shebu ono ni oreko, yes, kilo mubo. Like you've been here for a while, but they won't know that you are just trying to survive. And some money you could have had for yourself for savings. They are the one taking majority of it because of what we call black tax. We'll still talk about this in a subsequent episode. So I don't want to take too much of your time, because this is really, as you can see, is really hurting me. Because a lot of people atishi entirely. UK of 2022-23 is not UK of 2010. I don't know what anybody wants to tell me. Wakoma try to keep up. Hey, okay, bills in oh. £2,000, so I can't tell this share bills could be like £1,100. So people back home, some of them they can save 50k, 20k, 100k per month, 200k, 300k, save easily. They don't know that they are living in heaven. If you want to travel by force, come here for an holiday. Look at what is happening. Ask people on ground, bow ni bisheri, kinto tag bonkoti money before I sell everything and come back here. Please, people, you need to understand. I'm not here discouraging you to come to UK or go to US. Everybody understand what is happening in their lives. I'm just here saying my own truth based on what I've seen. And I don't have anything to benefit whether you come or not. However, because I've seen a lot of people gnashing their teeth nínú ìpààyàn kékeré pé láyé mi ká ni mo ti mọ̀ ilé mi tí mo tà lọ́gbà, ilé mi tí mo tà ní Abẹ́òkúta, ilé mi tí mo tà lẹ́dẹ, ilé mi tí mo tà lọ́ṣun, mi bàbá ti tà á, kí mo fẹ́ ṣe báyìí, níbo mo ti fẹ́ rówó. A lot of people can't even boast of one plot of land in Nigeria right now. Níbo náà ti fẹ́ rí? Wọn kò sí ilé, wọn kò síta, nǹkan kan tó ní ni pé wọ́n wà ní UK. Ara ń dán because of lack of sunlight, and we will go there now. Let's just touch on that a little bit. One of also the disadvantage of coming to a cold climate, because I'm living through it. I'm seeing the reality in my body. I used to be extremely hairy, and the cold climate has really affected me. I used to be extremely hairy. They call me monkey. Not because of racism, because my brothers even call me monkey because I was so hairy. Now I'm more or less like a desert. It's because my body is trying to, it doesn't understand that this kind of climate, we are not engineered to be here. That is from weather perspective. Now, when we talk about physical and mental health, living in a cold country can affect your mental health. I didn't know that. Mental health. I didn't know what was mental health in Nigeria. In Nigeria, if you are not mad, like on the street, eating grass or trying to run after someone, we don't believe that you are mad. Here, there's what we call mental health. Mental health ni maybe schizophrenia, depression, different things when it comes to mental health. And what I what I realized when I've spent a longer time here was I realized that I started getting depressed. I would just be low. I would be so unhappy. Like, what is going on? Okay, fine. You know what, me, what everything, but I was extremely low in mood. I opened up to my wife, like, what's wrong with me? What's happening? She saw that what was happening. Then I did some research and realized that lack of sunlight actually caused us to be depressed. Lack of sunlight, lack of vitamin D cause us to be depressed. And it goes beyond that, because there's what we call seasonal affective disorder, SAD, which the reduction on the amount of sunlight we get in our body actually reduces what we call serotonin in the body system, which leads to depression. And depression leads to different things. I've seen people committing suicide here because wọ́n realize pé ibi kò dàbí nǹkan tí wọ́n torí that they are seeing here is not what they thought that they are going to meet in the UK. Some people have committed suicide. Nobody knows. Some people they have broken down mentally. They are in ilé ọgbà àwọn wèrè náà wà báyìí àwọn ẹlòmíì tọ́jú wọn, because all these factors put into one, èèyàn máa realize pé ó ń jẹ́ kí èèyàn go bonkers, go crazy. Ìgbà tí gbogbo nǹkan òun ò ní all the assets you have ó ti tà, wá síbi kò sórùn, kò sójúlùmọ̀, kò sẹ́bí, iṣẹ́ òkè òun ṣiṣẹ́, ò fàṣẹ lójú méjèèjì, ò rí owó tó máa fi sápò, gbé savings mi lélẹ̀, wọ́n tún disturb ẹ láti lè send owó, àwọn ẹlòmíì wọ́n máa run down. That is mental health. Hair loss. Those are one of those issues to man jẹ lára wa. Even the fact is, cold weather doesn't cause arthritis, but it exacerbates pains and aches in tendons, joints, and ligaments. You might not know if you've never traveled before. I see a lot of people at work in the community. I know what is happening, and it's already happening to me. Orúnkún tí ń ro mí nìsín, tí n bá dìde orúnkún máa ṣe kẹ̀kẹ̀kẹ̀kẹ̀, ìbàdí tí ń ro mí, ìgúnpá, elbow, ìgúnpá, I believe this is what we call ìgúnpá. I'm sorry for my non-Yoruba speakers. All this stuff is not what black people are engineered for. That I'm not saying all this to change your mindset about traveling. I'm not telling you what you should expect from your finance, from your social life, even from your relationship. It might cause strain on your relationship. You and your wife, you are working back to back. Back to back. You hardly have time for yourself. You hardly have time for your children, the so-called children you wanted to give a better life from living Nigeria. You know, Nigeria, they say, Yoruba said as the ọmọ tó bá yè tó bá tójú yè òun ni gbogbo aládùúgbò tó ń bá yàn tọ̀, which means that It's not only your parents that train you back home, it's the whole community, because they want you to be the good example of where you are from. Here, there's no community, you're on your own. Only one live for 3 months, you'll be going crazy. In Cotton Sheleniye, there were times when I was still working, when I was still lost in the matrix. I was working back to back, 12 hours every 5 days, Monday to Friday. For 3 weeks at a young Billy Kono. What kind of life is that? It is life for some people that believe that their genesis and revelation, which is their beginning and ending, has to be in the Western world. But it is not my own reality. And majority of their citizens, all these countries, most of them don't work. Oh, Baba benefit awala shishe fun. So when we had slavery then, Gold Coast, Ivory Coast, Banagri, awala fitipa apply for visa and say láti wá fọlẹ̀, láti wá fọgbẹ̀, láti wá fọgbẹ̀. And don't get me wrong, some people have it good. Don't share IT, don't share other stuffs. However, how many percentage la in here? And what we have in the black community is nobody talks to themselves. Everybody is always keeping to themselves. It is well, it is well. God will provide for me, according to his riches and glory. All those ones are scam. Because when push comes to shove, when reality kicks in, you realize that in Kotoba for what and in Kotoba feel what you use your brain to do is what will actually make you survive and thrive in this world we are. So this is just my own 50 kobo as my own explanation. Please bear in mind, I'm not here to make anyone change their mind to what's coming or not coming. I'm just saying my own truth. I'm just explaining what I've seen and the path I've chosen, where me and my wife have chosen now to actually leave this country for good and go back home and actually do something for ourselves. Spend quality time with our children. Because Yoruba sokbe, even if you are here legally, like fully, like permanent residence, to me personally, the biggest achievement you can have for your children when it comes to passports, because we know that Nigerian passport go easy. I'm applying for visa 6 months, 4 months, they are still thinking about it, and you are more likely to be rejected. That is none of your own fault. It's our government and our leaders, how they've built the country. Excuse me. If you can, me personally, I realize that the biggest achievement in this country is simple. Once you are here, once you realize that you are in a matrix, you are in a rat race, you cannot escape from it, reduce your cost of living. Start saving towards actually creating something back home that you can fall back on. Obviously, have your own accommodation back home. Think outside the box. Understand that the highest achievement you can achieve in the West for you to live a good life where you are from, where you are a man instead of a black man, where you are a man, is okay. Maybe you have permanent residence, so you can transfer to your children. They have permanent residency and they're citizen, so that it can help them to travel the world, so they won't be inhibited by the Nigerian factor. Let's say we are all living in Nigeria now. Like my daughter want to go to, let's say, Holland, maybe for a meeting or for an excursion or for a business meeting or something, or for even holiday. That won't affect them. That's my own personal mentality. Anyone can strike a conversation with me on the comment section. After that, like passport for your children, like maybe for yourself, like once you are here, not on visiting visa obviously, or maybe student visa. Once you are here, like through my own kind of roads, when you maybe your spouse or your family brought you here. Once that passport is done, and you have capital to set up business back home that you can monitor and manage yourself, brother, there's nothing here. Forget. There's nothing here. Time, you don't have it. Time, you don't have it. And time is money. I want to spend my time with my family. I want to live my life before God calls me. That is what I'm saying. So if you are 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, and you've achieved so much for yourself, and you feel like you need to let go of all those stuff for Iloimbo, for where the land is flowing with milk and honey because of what you see on Hollywood and what you hear people say and you see people's picture on Instagram that is so wonderful and beautiful. Everybody looks fresh. And you sell everything you have. Brother, sister, hey. So that is my own. And please send us your stories if you want us to use your own story to talk about it on this platform, because we already have some people sending us stories like, oh brother, I love what you are doing, can you please tell people what I'm going through, can you please let them understand what I've been through, how families have pieces my life, what I've had to sell back home to come here, how I'm living in hostels, how the cost of living is actually driving me mad. Some people are already sending us their stories. So that means we have a lot of content coming, because we need to learn from ourselves. We don't have eternity to live. We don't. This country that has been made like this, some people sacrificed. English people, British, they sacrificed to make their country work. And what I want to sacrifice? We want to run out of the country. We want to japa. That doesn't mean we're going to enjoy our life perfectly where we are running to. And that doesn't mean our country wants to survive, because there are tons of people thriving back home too. And there are tons of people struggling back home too. It depends on your choice and your plans. So guys, I look forward to having more discussion down in the comment section. If you have any ideas, or if anything you want to talk to me about, anything that is going on in your life, or you need like maybe an objective kind of pragmatic advice, or another perspective on maybe your choice on what you want to do or what you want to achieve here in the UK. I'm not all knowing, but from my experience, the little brain I have, because Yoruba people say ogbon okun agba, ogbon kokun agba. Being wise doesn't mean you have to be an old person. No, it's experience. Experience is the best teacher. I've seen a lot, and I'll be so happy to share with all of you. Thank you so much, guys, for being with us. Our next episode is gonna be black tax, the black tax. We're gonna talk about that a lot. This and many more to come. You can reach us through our email, which is BLAXODUSMEDIA@gmail.com. We're gonna put it in the description if you have any discussion or any ideas to share with us. We are open to it, and have a wonderful time, everyone. Odigbako.